Yo, and what's up? All right, so I'm gonna be working on my equipment panel today, as it says in the video title. Um, and basically, what I'm gonna be doing to make all of this come together is I'm gonna make a new button class, which will be called like equipment buttons or panel buttons. And the whole idea is you never actually get rid of the element. You have it running in the background because it is filling out some sort of information, like telling the character exactly what is being equipped and what's not equipped. And the reason this is very useful is you might need to call in the equipment or unequip from the panel while it's closed. So, for example, if I open up my inventory and I swap out my chess piece with a different chess piece, right? There is going to be the need for it to identify that there's a chess piece right now in the equipment slot and then swap those items out. If I have it disabled, then it's not going to call back anything. It's going to come back null, and then it's going to throw an error, and people aren't going to be able to equip their stuff, swap or unequip unless they actually have the panel open. So, we've got to avoid that. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a normal hierarchy, and I'm going to develop everything in here because this is going to be the primary clone object that's going to be carried through all the scenes. And so we're going to go to scene view, and we're going to go to player HUD. We're going to have to turn that on. And where I have my equipment panel character right here, I don't actually know where it is. I know I have it somewhere. Character equipment. Here we go. Character panel. So let me show you something interesting. If I have this panel open, right, and I choose the scale to be 0 and 0, it disappears. So one of the little tricks that game developers use in order to make something appear to be invisible when it needs to run in the background is you just turn off the alpha or the image components, but that's not going to do in this case because it's not a standalone item. It has different subsidiary panels and nodes. So what I really need to do is I just need to just turn it into a 0 scaled object. And this way it still operates, still functioning in the scene, but you can't see it. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a new class of object. I really need to start cleaning this shit up. It's so messy now. Let's actually clean this up. Let's go to the correct things. Let's go to, do I have an image folder? I don't. You know what? We're just going to make a little folder. It's going to be called images or sprites. All right. Folder, game, sprites. And then we're going to make another little folder. And this is just going to be called background slash I don't know, trees and what is that called? Shrubbery. I don't know. Shrubbery. No, I didn't spell that right. Rename. Shrubbery. Yeah, whatever. And shrubbery. Trees and shrubbery. And then we're just gonna start moving all this shit in here. Where the fuck is it? Game sprites. Okay. We're going to take all the components of the actual in dirt stuff and just move this shit in because it's just all right. Okay, that was it for that. Okay. All right, game sprites, trees and shrubbery. Let's move this in for right now. Now it's a little bit more organized. I gotta organize it even more in the future, but I just don't want to be dicking around with this all day. And then I'm gonna make a background one, but I'm gonna wait for that. Okay, so we need to make a new script, but I got to make sure that I don't actually already have a script that I attached. So, you know, without remembering. So we're gonna go down to the character panel, and we're gonna go down to the equipment button one, and there is nothing. So we're gonna go to scripts to be a little bit more organized, and we're going to make a, actually let's do it from the actual character button. It makes it just easier, because it's already as a button. No, it's not. Button. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a script, and this is gonna be called UI panel button, because this would be anything that needs to have a panel that needs to be invisible, but yet not, what is that called? Disabled. So invisible but not disabled. Okay, so we created this new script, which will be appearing any moment. And we don't need to do anything with networking on this, I think, because this is already within a networked object, which is going to be hidden to everybody else. But I might need to do a local player check, which we'll test later. Basically, only if a local player is pressing this button is going to do anything. I know, it's a big pain in the ass. This whole networking thing, the way Unity does multiplayer is not quite what I was thinking. So it kind of makes things a little bit of a bitch. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a list. So this list is going to be all the game objects. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this for states. This is just going to be a list of states, okay? And these game objects are going to be either a 1-1 or they're going to be a 0-0 for their scale. And what's going to happen is every time you press this button, it's going to go through the list, and it's going to check if their scale is 1-1 or 0-0, and it's just going to flip it, whatever the one it is. So this way you could have different elements that have to pop up when you press a different button. Just makes it easier. So we're going to do a serialize field, because I just want to edit this inside of the panel. And what we're going to do is we're just going to call this a game object, which is actually, let me get out of this network behavior. I don't really need that anymore. Game object. And it's going to be called I don't know, my panels. Okay, and this is going to equal a new list of game object, and we're going to close it off, so it's just it sets itself in the inspector, and then I can change the properties there. So I think this one's only going to have one, obviously, and so what we're going to do is we don't need to start an update on this, because all this is going to be is a glorified button. And I think I'm going to be using Unity engine.ui, possibly. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to make this public function. So public void toggle panel states. And this isn't going to return anything, so it's going to be void, and it doesn't need additional input because it's just going to be a button press. So what we're going to do is we're going to, so int, for int I equals 0, I is less than my panels dot count I plus plus. Okay, really simple. basically lists and for each, and for loops are the bread and butter of any video game. And so what we're going to do is we're going to say if my panels I dot transform, oh shit, Control D, dot I dot transform dot local scale is not equal to 0, 0f, then we want my panels I dot transform dot local scale to equal a new vector 2, and that's going to be 0 float, 0 float. Okay. And else my panels I dot transform dot local scale is equal to new vector 2, 1 float, 1 float. Now, basically, I don't think this is completely correct, but I've never had to... wait, you know what? Yes, go to Google here. Trying to figure out how do you actually check. Unity, if local scale is equal so I don't actually I can just actually do a one operator. So I can do magnitude as well. Okay, so we're going to do magnitude and just 1 because we don't want the magnitude being larger than 1. Okay. So local scale dot I don't even know if I'm spelling this right. Magnitude is not equal to 0 float. Or I can just do 0, I think. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so this button here, my panels, we're just going to have the one panel. Oh shit, no. Just one, Jesus Christ. And then obviously we're going to be putting this here. And then when we click the button, we're going to be dragging itself in. And we're going to do UI panel, and we're going to do toggle panel states, and we're going to give it a good old testaroo. Oh shit, actually I got to hide the HUD canvas again. Here, oh by the way, let's save this in case it didn't save. Okay. My name's Drift. Okay. Yep. And there we go. It works perfectly. And what happens is if you look at the character panel, you see that it's... Oh, shit. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to do the vector 3 thing. Okay, here. We're gonna do vector 3. Because I really don't see the point of 0f, and then we're just gonna give it 1f. Here we go. Just change it to vector 3. There's really no point in doing vector 3. Alright, so I don't know why I played the press button instead, but so we got Mr. Wordy here, and now we have the equipment panel up, and we're gonna click this, and we're gonna watch over here as the scale changes. So there we go. It's still functioning, and everything that we attach to it, like the slots, are going to be working. And if I click it, these are not functioning yet, obviously. They're just representations. But, oh yeah, I still gotta make it to where, like, the hair is actually declared. Game object in animator is inactive. Which one? Oh, hair. Oh, okay, that's why it's never working. Oh, well, I mean, I already know that. I know I have to declare it, but okay. Yeah, whatever, I don't care. Fuck off. I already know it, dude. Okay, fuck me. I'm having a damn aneurysm, it looks like. Alright, but yeah, so if I equip it, obviously there's no visual change yet, but we got this working. Okay, so we got the button working. Now what we need to do is we need to set it to where it makes a visual change in the actual equipment panel. So the way that I have this set up right now is on the player container. There is a equipment manager, okay, and this controls all the nodes. Now I can do this right now to where if I want, right, let's turn on the HUD canvas. Inside of here we have our, where's our inventory? Here we go. So our inventory panel doesn't have any code except for on the slots. Now I might make this a equipment slot property, and the equipment manager handles all the equipment slots, and basically when the item gets handed to the equipment manager, it can do the little thing it needs to do on these 4 slots. It's really no different than just having it to where instead of the object is picked up on the ground, it's being picked up through the inventory slot, equipment slot, but it really depends on how I want to do this. And like I said, I gotta change a lot of things over the next couple months that are all to networking, because networking is just weird in this game, and you know, I just I don't know. Alright, so let's go ahead and just make an equipment slot object, and I want to make a text component for the equipment slot too. And so right now all we do is we have the chest piece and the pants are the only things that are semi-equipable right now. I think what I have to do is I just have to add the weapon now or later. I've just been kind of lazy and avoiding it, you know. Alright, so let's just do it the way it wants and just make number 2 the default, because it's just gonna keep right on its ass. Alrighty, let's just do that. Let's go to actually, you know, let's do a little bit more cleanup first. Game sprites, folder, UI sprites. Okay, because there's a lot of UI sprites that I need to get rid of. I mean, these are all UI sprites. have a UI thing here, but I just want to... You know what? Let me leave them alone for right now. Okay, no, it's just the chat system thing. Okay. Okay, this is the end of a lot of UI here. Here. So all this is UI. Let's drag all of it to game sprites. And then drag it into UI sprites. Alright, there we go. More cleanup. Now we go back to assets, save this shit, and yeah, already starting to look a little bit less crazy. Alright, so we're going to go back into scripts, and I'm going to just make the class for the equipment slot, and then we're going to go ahead and just give a reference to these in the equipment panel. And then since I want to share the same script, okay, so I have two ways of doing this, right? I can add a slot type, which can be helmet, greaves, shirt, whatever the fuck. Or I could just have it to where in the equipment panel, instead of making a list that are all unique, I literally just have an equipment panel, and then I just name them this. And then what'll happen is I can reference it directly through the equipment panel, or I can directly reference it through having a unique slot. I don't really see the difference or any benefit to either or. I think for the sake of simplicity and just having it a little bit more utility on the slot class itself, I think I'm going to put that on the slot. I don't think I'm going to put it in the equipment manager, just because for me, it'll make things a little bit more manageable in the future. For you, I don't know. If you're programming, I don't know. Who knows? Okay, so let's get to it. We're going to go into my inventory. No, sorry. Oh, yeah, no. Well, yeah, here. Helmet slot. Jesus fucking Christ. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make the new equipment slot. Use script equipment slot. Now, I do want to make these draggable. Okay? But we're going to disable this for right now because I don't want to worry about this. And why can't I disable you? What? I can disable that, but I can't disable the draggable script? It's fucking weird. I guess we're gonna have to make the character camera. I don't know. I don't want to. Okay, you know what? Let's remove this right now. I'm just gonna be extra pain in the ass to like do bug control with that. All right, so let's get into this. We're gonna have to use UI because we're gonna be having a reference to the object, the image, especially when we're toggling into an active and inactive slot and all the other blah blah blah. All right, so I don't know if I need to start because nothing's really going to be happening unless I'm clicking on this. I really don't see a reason for you to start with any equipment. I don't know. That's an interesting thing. I think what I'm going to do is instead of just deleting it, I'm just going to hash it out for right now. And then I don't think I need anything on update either. So, okay. So we're going to make a public void. And this public void is just going to be called, we're going to have two. We're going to have switch equipment, and then I'm going to be feeding this two items, obviously, the new and the old. So we're just going to have a old, oh, sorry, equipment, and it's going to be called old equipment, and then we're going to hash it, and then we're going to have another equipment, and this is going to be called the new equipment. Alright, now we're just going to say okay, wait. We're going to hash this out, and I'm going to say what I want to do. Hand over old equipment to inventory. Add new equipment to my slot. And do clear/check to equipment manager, because the equipment manager is going to be handling the actual character appearance change, and so we're probably gonna have to feed this from the equipment manager, which is just going to feed in these two variables. So it's not going to be a big deal, because we're probably going to be calling this from the actual equipment manager. All right, so we got this one, and then the other planned one is going to be public void, and this is going to be called equip new item. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Equip new thing. I don't. Jesus Christ. New equip. Fuck me. I'm not good at naming things. New equip. All right, and this is gonna take in equipment, and this is gonna be new. New equip. New equip. And then obviously this is pretty self-explanatory. Just equip it and add this item and the actual equipment into the inventory slot. So I'm going to have a tooltip, and these are going to be draggables. So I definitely need to add in the current equipment. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a make this serializable only because I want to do bug checking. It doesn't actually need to be serializable. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, I can't remember how to spell it. I'm thinking about system.serializable. I'm not doing that with this though. Serialize field, and then we're just going to be adding in new equipment, and this equipment's going to be called my equipped item. I don't know. And then we're going to do all this all capital. My equipped item. And then okay. Now we need to do a public version, because we are going to have to reference this. And then this is going to be my equipped item with a lowercase m. And then we're just going to go to get return my equipped item, and then private set, and then my equipped item equals my equipped item. The reason we are going to need to definitely reference this. Okay. What did I do wrong? Oh, I'm doing this above mono behavior. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the reason we're going to need to reference this is because I'm going to have to check, right, in the equipment manager whether or not there is an item here. So I can check by getting the value, but I can't change the value unless I'm doing it through switch equip or these public methods. Now, the reason these are so important is you can't just like if you were to be playing a game and you somehow got access to the code, you simply can't just swap out these two variables because there's a check in two other programs. And so, while a game is actually running and there's a server check for the item and a validation like every 2 seconds, you can't just swap out one thing. And if anything, you're going to crash your game trying to do that. So the reason you never use private variables and you always have them set within an interface is because it makes it almost unhackable. Every time you publicly expose something, it can be changed by anybody, and so you want to avoid making these things actually public. Alright, so we got this set up, and now we're going to need to get a image, which is going to be like actually this needs to be serializable. Serialized field, no matter what. And this is going to be a image, and it's just going to be called my equipment icon, and this is just going to be the reference for the image underneath it to actually show something, because we're going to be getting the stats from the actual equipment. And that's not so hard because we can directly influence anything that's currently under our control. So once it actually has this variable, it will be able to look at anything that's publicly exposed, which is something I already did. So now I think I'm gonna make a we're gonna do this. Okay, so we're gonna call this. Okay, so we're gonna make a public enum. Oh, I need to give it a name. Public enum, and this is gonna be called slot type. Equipment slot type. I don't know. Okay. And then we're going to have a list. And then we're going to have helmet, chest, pants, boots, belt, gloves, main hand, offhand, and we can always add to it. It doesn't really matter, which is one of the beautiful things of doing it as an enum type instead of a set thing in the actual equipment manager. So I guess this is another thing that makes it a little bit more superior. So now that should save, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna just go it by name. So this is a I gotta make a public get for this. Okay, my bad. So you gotta go to make a public. So enums are a lot different. A hacker can't just change this because an enum is automatically a system.serializable, So basically, its property is already set at launch. So once you launch a program, it can't be changed. This is just a static reference thing. But when it's not launched, so the code's not running, you can change it freely. The reason this is still pretty secure is because you can't actually be playing a game, or you can't be trying to edit a game without first initializing some point of the code when you're out of an actual editing software. So you can't change anything once you're getting the game going, and all these variables have to match, right, with the server end, or it's gonna crash the game. It's gonna corrupt it. You won't be able to play, because all these have to be the same. Okay, so for example, if I launch the game, okay, this and this is going to be the same, right? But whatever equipment is inside that I'm getting the values from, that could be changed, right? Well, since this is a declared system.serializable enum, this cannot be changed because this has a set property. So unless I'm changing gloves to main hand, well, if I have two main hands, it's going to throw an error. So it doesn't do any good to be able to have this as anything but public. It doesn't matter. So this is something to where the way that the Unity set this up, having this as public is just fine. Doesn't do any harm. Just a FYI. Okay, so now we need to make a reference to this. So we need to make a public slot type, and it's going to be called my slot type. I don't know. Okay, and or we can just say my slot type. I don't fucking know. Okay. So now we go back, and this will pop up correctly now. Actually, you know, I want this in the top. I think that should be the first thing that gets declared. So paste. Okay. Now, if this is ever going to unfreeze, because I forget that every time okay. Oh, fuck off. Okay, so this is a helmet. Yep. Armor. So this is a... Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, and now this is a chest. This is pants, and this is boots. There's no item. We're gonna set this as my icon image. Actually, we're going to have this always active, except we're just going to toggle the actual, so we're going to null this out. Oh shit, it's actually popping up over here. That's annoying. No. And then we're just going to have this disabled. We're going to top this up as null. Have this disabled. We're going to have this disabled, the image component. Now we can go through all these and make sure that it's correct. So armor slot, obviously. Greave slot, obviously. And then here we go. Now, some games actually have the tooltip as its own object that just appears right outside the thing. I don't really want to do that. I'm actually thinking about having little buttons, though. So these buttons are going to appear on the side, and one is going to be like the unequip button and then equip. And the reason is for phone users, so they can tap their little fingers on it, and then they can just manually equip it without having to double tip. I don't know. We're going to see how that goes. I'm not really sure yet. Okay, so... character panel is... So now all of these have their little equipment slot. Now I need to make a list of all of these onto the equipment manager. So we're gonna go back to the player container. We're gonna go back to the equipment script, and then we're gonna add these, and then we're gonna make a equipment slot list. Okay. Whew. Okay. I don't need to start on this. There we go. Let's just avoid this out. Actually, you know what? I don't need an update. And I might need a start thing to initialize something, but I could always just do that on an awake method. Okay, so we have another list we need. And then this list, okay, so we're going to make another header. And this is going to be my equipment slots. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go make a list. And this list is of equipment slots. Yeah. Call it that. Yeah, equipment slot. Equipment slot. Doo-doo. And then we're going to call this, oh yeah, let me serialize this actually, sorry. Serialize field. And it's going to be my equip slots. And then this is obviously just going to equal a new list of equipment slot. Equipment sluts. I sometimes want to say that because I'm naughty. Alright, so we got this set up. Now we're going to give it a size with right now it's just going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go up to player container and we're going to go down to equipment slots and we're just going to give it a size of 4. And then we're going to just feed it the helmet, the armor. Oh shit. This stupid fucking XR manager, dude. I really want to get rid of it, but it won't go away. And then boots. Okay. We got it set up. I don't really know how it's. I don't want any installed packages. I don't know how to get rid of this fucking thing. It's super annoying. Okay. How many minutes am I on stream? Oh, 43 minutes. All right. You know what? We're gonna do 2 more minutes, and then I think I'm gonna call it a quit. Oh, and I also have a reference for the chest, pants, boots, and gloves on the actual equipment manager. I guess doesn't really matter. So we're going to set these items as the chest, pants, boots, and gloves for so far. And then what we're going to do is this way we can affect the character stats by the numbers that are in these objects. Oh man, I'm getting kind of sleepy. Okay, so let's just set this. Okay, so let's go to equipment slot, and then when new equip, I should probably make a public void called unequip. Public. Oh, you know what? Equip, or new equip. Okay, we're just gonna call it new equip. Fuck it. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a click listener on this eventually. And this press is just gonna be called through a coroutine, and I think we're just gonna call this a public check. I don't know what to call it. So you're gonna go on that gonna go on the item and you're gonna double click it, or you're gonna press a button, and then what it's gonna do is if there's no object and if there's an object in here, it's gonna remove it. If there's no object, it's not gonna do anything. Add or remove. I don't know. Remove. I don't know, because I don't want it to remove it. I want first I want it to check if there's an item. Okay. So first we want to check if there's a click, and then we want to check if there's an item, and then if there's an item, we're gonna remove. And then if there's no item, I'm not really sure what to name this. I don't know. I'm so bad at naming shit when I'm programming. I don't know why, but I have no imagination for naming things. I don't know. Click check. Fuck it. We're gonna say click check. Slot check. Fuck it. I'm just gonna name this slot. Public void. I don't really want to return it. Public void slot check, and this is what's gonna be invoked if you actually press on this, and it's also gonna invoke a timer for a double click. So this timer is gonna count down, and maybe we'll make it like half of a second. So if you click again with it, no, I think that's too fast, too slow. I mean, maybe like a third of a second. So basically, it's gonna invoke a coroutine or just a normal float timer, and then during this time, if you click it again, then it's gonna invoke new equipment. No, remove equipment. And then that's it, probably. I think that'll be fine. So slot check. Okay, so we're gonna do for the double click later. Double click, check, and then we're gonna check blah blah blah, and then say if my equipped item, then we're gonna do a remove public void remove equipment, and then this is gonna be equipment old equipment, and then we're gonna have to migrate this back to the inventory, and we're only gonna be able to migrate this to the inventory if the inventory isn't full. If the inventory is full, then I'm gonna add like an error message and be like, oh yeah, by the way, dingus, your inventory is full, you can't unequip this yet. And then obviously I'm gonna make the drop function too, where it's draggable, so if you click it over, then it can be dropped. But that's a separate code. So old equipment. Okay, there we go. And then if I have an item, then we're gonna remove equipment. Okay. So we're gonna check for a double click, and then if it's double clicked, then we're gonna be able to do the remove. So we're gonna make a bool. Public bool, and this public bool is gonna be double clicked, and then we're gonna say if double clicked, we're gonna run through this. Okay. I don't know. So we have two big options here. Let me show up Paint here. I'll show you how this works. So we have two basic options here. One option is we do a countdown timer. So we make a little float, okay? and this float is just going to be a randomly assigned number. Let's pretend like 0.3, okay? And then we could add a fixed update for this to make it a little easier. And so basically what's going to happen is once I click this down, this float is going to be active, and then it's going to go down by the time since it was clicked. And I can also get an average, like I did with the other double click function, to where I can be like, take down the time that it was clicked, and then if the time that it was clicked, I don't know, clicked is greater than the time now, which would mean a double click. So I click it, right, and then I click it again within a short amount of time, and what will happen is that it'll add a value which is set, so like let's say 0.3, and that will make the total click time higher because of the value I assigned of 0.3. So basically this float value will be 0.3, right? And if 0.3 seconds pass since the time it was clicked, then this number will start reducing from the total time that's passed, and eventually that value will come back to 0. And so that means the next click compared to the last time it was clicked will be equal or less than 0. And so therefore it's not going to be considered a double click. I don't know, I think that's not super confusing, right? And then the other way to do this is a coroutine, which a coroutine is something that operates outside of update, but it can't be canceled. So it's something that gets run, and it's told to run no matter what. No matter what, there's update. It runs independent from fixed update. And this coroutine is told that it must continue its work until this has been completed. Now, the benefit to this is an internalized mechanism that operates outside of fixed update. So if something ends up canceling or there's lag, it basically operates on your computer. So this coroutine will never change its value, no matter if your frame rate's lower, no matter if you disconnect. The double click will always work. But the other bad towards this is because it's something that's independent from fixed update. Anytime that it gets called, it's going to be running. So anytime you're clicking within the object, it's going to be counting down. And this is just a reference. So it actually is, so the CPU, so this is lower CPU, okay, lower CPU, this one, and this one, but it's less reliable, so its reliability is lower. This, higher CPU, but high reliability. That's the difference between doing a time comparison versus a coroutine. Now, I think I'm probably just going to do the time comparison because it's just for items. It's nothing super high paced or like combat oriented. So I think it's absolutely just fine doing this as a float comparison. All right, well, I'm going to go draw up more equipment slots. Like I'm going to draw in the gloves, the shield, the weapon, the shield, and then the belt. And then I think that's about it. So I think I'm going to have, maybe I'm going to have the weapon and the shield right here. So we're going to have gloves and then belt. So maybe I'm going to put like 3 and then 2, sword and shield. So we're going to do 3, 3, sword and shield, and that'll be it for now. And then in the center, we're just going to have like your preview of your character walking around and what he looks like in armor, I guess. And then I'm gonna make a little sub tab too for like hair appearance and stuff, but that needs to be unlocked through the premium access, so something you buy with the gems or whatever, so you can change your equipment appearance at any time. Anything that I can do to just add a little bit of like player friendly, but at the same time not making it to where it's appearing as a cash cow game either, so I think that's just the way I'm going to do it. Alright, so we have most of the setup. I'm going to finish this next video, and until then I'm going to be drawing up the other equipment slots. So tomorrow or the next day you guys will get the updates on me finishing this up, and then we're going to get rid of the mining XP and demolition XP thing here, and we're going to add a little tab here. I'm going to draw it for character stats. You're going to click it, and then it'll show you all your current levels and stuff. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you like the content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Laters. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you like the content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.